Hi everyone on YouTube, and all the NFL YouTube prognosticators and football fans everywhere. This is Andrew Warren, back here once again, giving you my thoughts about the wild card week and my picks for the NFL division rounds for the 2025-2026 NFL playoffs. Check it out. First off, on my thoughts on the wild card games. Let's kick things off with the Rams and Panthers. That was a wild one. That was one of the wildest ones I've seen in a long time. In fact, all the games were like that except for one. But, that being said, the Rams and the Panthers, it was a back and forth game. Overall, but Carolina could easily won it, but the Rams came up on top. It was a really tight game. I really enjoyed that one. It got interesting on that one. And not only that, I think Carolina can have a big future in the division round. I think they're going to be a team to look out for down the road. And speaking of future teams down the road, Chicago Bears is going to be one of them too. With the Bears and Green Bay, Chicago made up a really good comeback, come from behind victory against Green Bay. Green Bay, on the other hand, I think, and there's still a little trust on Matt LaFleur, but as a Matt LaFleur, I would have fired him on the spot right there after that collision. I mean, you can't go in the regular season do really well and go miss the playoffs like that and lose the playoffs like that. You've got to hold on to the lead like that. If he gets another chance, I think it's going to be his last season right there. Easily so. We'll have to wait and see. Buffalo and Jacksonville, that was another tight one right there. That could have easily gone to the wire. Jacksonville, it was kind of like the Rams and Panthers game. Jacksonville could easily won it, but Buffalo just snuck in there and won the game. But same thing with Jacksonville. They could be a future reference on there. And see how they do down the road from here. San Francisco and the Eagles. San Francisco just came up on top and on defense, and it won the game easily that way. And now we're going to have a new defending Super Bowl champion because of that. I think with Philadelphia's case right now, I think A.J. Brown's going to go. I think they're going to try to rebuild that offense from A.J. Brown in the wide receiver position and try to figure things out right now in that position. But overall, I think they're going to be a really solid team. I think they're going 3 in a row next year in the NFC East. We'll have to wait and see. My Patriots in the LA Chargers, that was probably one of the defensive wildcard games we've ever seen in a long, long time. But my Patriots pulled up on the linebacker position, had a great game plan to overcome Justin Herbert. It just came one sack after another, one stop after another. It was a low-scoring game for a while like that until the gaming point when Drake May and Hunter Henry just came for the touchdown. That sealed the deal right there. Good to know for them. That was a great win for the Patriots. A first playoff victory in the last 7 years since Super Bowl 53. Can they continue that spread? We'll have to wait and see. Pittsburgh and Houston, I gotta say, despite that it was a low-scoring game for a while, then Houston just dominated the fourth quarter like that. Just dominated. And to say the least out of that victory right there, that was Mike Tomlin's last coaching job for the Pittsburgh Steelers right there. And to be honest with you, that's kind of a sad way to go out right there. I think Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I could see him getting another coaching job in the future. There's definitely a future head coaching position for him. I really think he can go down. Maybe he can take the Dolphins position. I think maybe, and I know John Harbaugh's in the Washington New York Giants right now. So that position's out. But I think there's going to be I think he can go into, I think there was another Cleveland Browns out of all teams. He can go there. I think he can make an impact on Cleveland on there. Maybe him and Shedeur Sanders could work something out. But, we have some other great coaching opportunities. I think the guy could replace him, Brian Flores, who did really well in Miami. And I think he should have got another chance in Miami. But, that being said, I think he can make a good replacement for Mike Tomlin right then and there. I always liked him as a Patriot guy. He was always been one of my good coaching assistants from them down there. But hey, I think he can get another chance at that. And I think that's my prediction on that one. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But all in all, I think Mike Tomlin, I think he's going to get another head coaching job. And I think he's going to go to out of all teams, the Cleveland Browns. That would be a perfect fit for him right there. But we'll have to wait and see. So that being said, that's my thoughts about the wildcard picks. Let's get on to my division picks. All right, for the NFL Division Round picks. So on the first game, we got the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. These are two evenly matched teams. This can go either way. I'm surprised it's not a pick 'em here, but it was favored by Denver for a while. Then it got switched over recently to Buffalo to 1.5 point favorite in this game. So I debated back and forth on this one. And the way those teams are playing, even for Denver for over the season, and the way Buffalo's been playing, this could be a little bit of a track game. Whoever is going to... If I had to pick a track game this week, I think this game is it. But despite that, I think this game is going to go back and forth. Whoever's going to have the ball last in this game, personally. But to say that, Buffalo's been known for the cardiac kids all season long, who's been playing comeback after another comeback after another comeback. You know, they did field one that cost them the AFC East right there against Philadelphia. But despite that, I think this game is going to go back and forth each one. This is Bo Nix's first playoff appearance. I think he's going to play really well. I think he has a great coach with him and Sean Payton. I think they're going to do really well. This is going to be a good turning point. I think this team reminds me of the 06 Saints at this point, who came out of nowhere like that, and they just flipped the switch on the Denver Broncos, and that's where they are at this point. So I think that's kind of remind me of that right now. For the Denver Broncos, they were so bad for the longest time, and all of a sudden they flipped the switch on like that. I mean, that's the way I see it from them. But you know, the way this game is gonna go out, I think it's gonna come down whoever's gonna have the ball last in this game. And I hate to say it, but I think it's gonna be Buffalo in that one. And Buffalo has the playoff experience. Will I be surprised if the Broncos win? No. Will I be surprised if Buffalo wins? No. But I think with the playoff experience from Buffalo, I think they have a better chance at that one. So I might go with a slight of an upset in this one. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills over to go to Denver to beat the Denver Broncos in this game. So on the line, though, Denver is favored by 1.5 point favorite in this game, like we just talked about. And despite that, I'm going to take Buffalo plus 1.5 in this game. Over and under, with these two offenses, it's 46.5. I'm going to go over 46.5 in this game. Okay, the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Round 3 between these two teams. This one's the big dagger. So, another classic rivalry over the years, especially when Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll were there for a while. They had a great success in the early 2010s over there, with Seattle winning a Super Bowl in that point. And that was probably the turning point for that for Jim Harbaugh in San Francisco at the NFC Championship game in 2013. But despite that, in fact, that was the last time they met. It was that championship game. And despite that, and I think this is a different Seattle team, and I think Seattle's been one of the really a great story to come around this year. Came out of nowhere as well. Actually beat out the LA Rams and actually beat out the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. And they're having a great run since that LA Rams game on Thursday night. Probably one of the best Thursday night games we ever had in a long time. And San Francisco's coming on their own, but the only main difference is injuries are piling up on the 49ers. That's going to come up at that point in the scenario. And Bo Nix is a great quarterback. And Kyle Shanahan, he's known for that Super Bowl 51 choke. And, of course, they choked out in that Super Bowl right there when they had... So, anyways, that being said, I think this game is going to come down to maybe a good big defensive game right there. But I think those two offenses are really strong offenses too. So, and I think the story's going to come down to Sam Darnold right there. So if Sam Darnold can control the game, I think Seattle's going to probably win out in this one. So I'm going to go with the number 1 Seattle Seahawks over the San Francisco 49ers and to win this game in Seattle in this one. On the line, then Seattle's favored by 7 in this game. I'm going to take Seattle minus 7. Over and under is 46 on this one too. You know, with these two offenses, what the heck? I'm going to go over 46.5 in this game. And by the way, San Francisco's number 6. I apologize not to reach that. Anyways, continuing on. For the Sunday games, we got the Houston Texans and my New England Patriots. The team that is quite opposite of the Seattle in San Francisco on this one. This game is going to come down to defense. They have two strong defenses right there. They're both in the top 10 all year round with that. But the Patriots are known for their linebacker core, which they sacked maybe 6 times to Justin Herbert on that. And it's going to be played in New England, so Houston, they have the weather advantage on that one too. But to say the least out of that, Houston has a definitely championship defense, but to say the least, C.J. Stroud of the offense just came on off strong in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a different ball game when they had to play the Patriots in this one, especially playing when it's in a field condition like that. Despite Pittsburgh being like that too, oftentimes it's not the case with the scenario on that one. But anyways, I think for this game, it's going to come down who has the better offense in this one. That's coming from Drake May and the Patriots on that one. No offense to C.J. Stroud in the offense. They got a great, strong contender. Maybe next year they could win that division. But I don't know. Too early to tell for that yet. Despite what anyone does in the offseason. To say that, I think this game's going to come down to a good offense. That's my Patriots right there on that one. So I'm going to take my Patriots over the Houston Texans to win this game. The number 2 Patriots over the number 5 Houston Texans in this game. On the line, my Patriots are favored by 3 in this game. I'm going to take my Patriots -3. Over-under is 41.5. That's a little low. I think it's going to be a good defensive game. It's going to be a similar game like my Patriots and Chargers did last week. So I'm going to go under 41.5 in this game. Okay, the last game we're going to talk about is the LA Rams and the Chicago Bears. Chicago, really strong one. They had a great win last week against the Green Bay Packers. Now they go to place the LA Rams, who have in the playoff experience in there and a Super Bowl in like 5 years ago. No, excuse me, 4 years ago, excuse me. But despite that, the Chicago Bears are holding their own. The LA Rams, a little bit of a slight edge. If they could barely hold on to Carolina, I'm not too sure how they're going to handle with the Chicago Bears on this one. Chicago Bears has a much stronger offense and a much better defense as well for Carolina than Carolina's at one point. But I think the LA Rams are holding their own as well on defense. I'll give them that. But I think if the Rams lose this game, this could be Matthew Stafford's final game. To say that. I mean, but no offense to Matthew Stafford, a great NFL career he had. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers too. Great NFL careers, but all of them have to come and go at some point. But maybe Matthew Stafford could wait another year or two. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, continuing on for the game, I think Chicago's going to find a way to offensively to get this team rolling. And of course, they're going to have a great stop on the Rams on defense. I think that's going to come down to Chicago on this one. Since it's in Chicago, with the cold climate on there, and with LA Rams with the warm climate, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears over the LA Rams in this game. On the line, Chicago's favored by 3.5 in this game. I'm going to take Chicago -3.5. Over and under, it's 51.5. I'm going to go over 51.5 in this game. I think it's going to be a quarterback duel in this one. Okay, a big shout out this week is my buddy Gavin O'Connor, which I don't think I really gave him a shout out all year. I'm very sorry for that, Gavin. But yeah, you got to check him out. And the rest of the NFL YouTube prognosticator page in the description down below right here. While you're at it, I'm going to go over the classic Dr. Squatch one this week. And it's a classic. It's one of the ones that started for me. It is Bay Rum. Yeah, check out Bay Rum right here. It is a classic one right here. I mean, it was one of, when they first started, that was the most popular one. But since they reformulated, it hasn't been one of the popular ones. But it's definitely a most appreciated one right here. This one all started on for me for Bay Rum. It's a great cinnamon and rum scent. But definitely check this one out. Give this one a chance. The reformulated one has grown on me on recent years. And it wasn't my favorite when they reformulated, but it definitely grew on me on this one a very long time. But this is definitely a classic one right here. But definitely check out Bay Rum. It's definitely a fun one. And it's a nice, great cinnamon run. It really smells fantastic. And it's non-potent, so it's a non-grit one. So if you have a sensitive skin like me, this is perfect for you. It's one of the perfect ones. So if you want to check this one out, I recommend this one. So, till then, this is Andrew Warren saying, rock out and eat your breakfast.